What's up guys, it's your man I Do a Barber back with another video, and in this one we're talking about my top 5 clippers that I gotta take, my top 5 starting lineup that I've got to take into battle with me day in and day out. This is what I need if I had to just drop everything else, all the other tools that I have. These are my top 5, so I'm gonna give those to you in this video today. But before I do that, you guys let me know yours in the comments below. I want to know your top 5 starting lineup in the comments below. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and press the notification bell so you can stay up to date when I drop videos just like this. Now you're gonna be surprised. For those of you that know me, for those of you that have watched this series over the years, because I've done this every single year for the past few years, you're gonna be very surprised at what I'm gonna tell you in this video, because you guys know me for some things. 1, using the MBs with the wall fade blade. 2, fading with the detachables. You guys know me for this, but you're gonna be shocked at this lineup. Before we kick this thing off, links will be in the descriptions to all of the products that you see here in this video today. And if you wanna cop them, use my shop Amazon link, it'll help the channel. Number 1, I've gotta put the silver FX in the group. Now, we all know the gold FX, the silver FX, the black FX, Takashi 69 FX, the blue FX, rose gold. Babyliss is just going crazy with the different types of FX trimmers, but I've got to put this in my lineup. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. This says clippers. The name of this video is clippers. If I would include a shaver in this, I would include my Braun Series 7 and exclude this. But since it's clippers, and that is considered technically not a clipper, I've got to put this in here because this leaves very good lines. It balls out really well if I need it for that reason. And I'm gonna be honest, if you told me, like, give me a top 3, I honestly can give you a top 3 and leave this out of it. This is one that I would leave out. If I had to go top 3, I could leave this out of it. But I'm putting this in here just for that reason. Number 2, man, quite crazy. If you guys saw the product review on this, you saw how many glowing things I had to say about this trimmer. The Absolute Hitter by Gamma. The name just gets me, Absolute Hitter. But this trimmer, boy oh boy, it surprised the hell out of me. Now if you look, it has that similar wall blade. It really has the look of a wall detailer blade, if you guys know what that looks like. Versus their Evo, which has a more like T-outliner look of a blade, kind of like the Babyliss blade. Here you see it has that T-outliner look to it. But this thing's great. And I'm gonna be honest, like I said, this goes along with what I just said with number 1, about the top 3, meaning this would be in my top 3. I could cut out the Babyliss. This thing lines really well, doesn't bald out really well, but it leaves a very good line. Crazy thing about this thing is, it's really hard to zero gap, meaning it's hard to mess up. You can't mess up with this trimmer. It's really hard to screw this thing up. You can't overlap the blade like you could with the Andis blade or something like that, where it can overlap and you cut people. They don't even allow you to do this the way they have this blade engineered, which is great. You can zero gap it, and it zero gaps to my specs perfectly, where there's just, you see, just a hair. Just a hair, where it gives you that little bit of room for error on the blade, where you're not cutting people, you're not irritating, and it's not too harsh, which is actually one thing about balding out with this trimmer. It is kind of harsh to bald out with this because it's not as smooth as a Babyliss or a T-outliner, but this is definitely in my top 3. It looks cheap, it looks real corny, but I've got to go with this in my starting lineup. Since I unboxed this and used this trimmer, I honestly have not picked up the Babyliss Silver FXs. I honestly have not, and I have not had a need to do it. These things are a monster. Number 3, I've got to go with this Gamma Ergo, Stylecraft Ergo. I've got to go with this thing. Again, if you saw in the unboxing, I didn't really say too much because it was an unboxing, but in the product review of this, boy, oh boy, I was highly impressed with this clipper right here. Man, the blade is just ridiculous. You see how thin that blade is there compared to like a wall fade blade. As you see here, the wall fade blade is a lot thicker than this Gamma blade, and I love the way this thing flows with the wall guards. It fits the wall guards perfectly. It comes with the guards, I ain't gonna lie, kind of corny, but I mean, it makes fading with the wall guards a lot better. Before, I would fade with my MBs with the wall fade blade, using the wall guard system, and I didn't really like the wall guards, But using these clippers right here, it makes me like using the wall guards. However, you know, you guys know me for fading with blades. I haven't had to pick up any blades since using this clipper. It's a magnetic motor, 10,000 RPM, and I honestly have not had to pick up the blades unless I just really wanted to for a nostalgic purpose. But I've been rocking with this thing heavy over the past 2 weeks, and really since I unboxed this clipper and started using it. This thing is absolutely amazing, guys. I was a little skeptical about the little click, as you can hear the clicks, but as I used it, it really makes it dummy proof. You start an open lever, create a 1-inch guideline, put it to the third lever, boom, and then put it to close and then knock the line out. It's that simple. You don't have to go through all 5. You can just skip and be done. And you can see by the haircut tutorials that I posted recently using these clippers, man, I absolutely love these things. And with this blade being so thin, and why I love it is because with detachables, let's say you put a 1.5 blade on, it cuts shorter than a 1 guard open. But with this, when you put the 1 guard and you open the lever, it actually cuts to a similar length to a 1.5 blade on the detachables, which is quite crazy. And I think that's due to this blade being so thin. I think that's why it cuts so short. Even if you put a 1 guard and you close the lever, it's gonna cut a lot shorter than a 1 guard if I have the wall fade blade on it or an Andis Master blade. So I like it for that because it really gives me that sense of using the detachables because the length is the same, the look is the same when you make the strokes. Of course, when you're fading with guards, it does leave a little bit behind, so that is a little bit I have to get used to, but with this motor being so powerful, boy, oh boy, this is crazy. So like I said, if I had a top 3, this is in my top 3. So the Hitta and the Ergo will be in my top 3, but overall, this is number 3 in my top 5 starting lineup. Number 4, my cordless Andis Masters with the Fat Master blade. You see that right there. We're not talking about the regular Master blade with the taper blade on it. No. We're talking about the Fat Master blade. You guys know me for this. You've seen some of the haircut tutorials that I've done using the Fat Master blade. Now, why is this on my list? Because this has sort of a sentimental value. We all know the Fat Master opens up from, if it's arguable, between a 1 or 1A to a 2 in blades. And this thing, I call this my street sweeper. You know, I call this the banana clip because when I pull this out, it gets rid of everything. So if I'm fading with guards and I have a problem that I'm trying to get it with guards, I gotta, because it leaves a little bit behind, I could just easily whip out the Fat Master and it'll clean up anything. It'll clean up all blemishes. And all I gotta do is just adjust the lever. Versus detachable blades, I gotta put on the right blade, hopefully, then I gotta maybe use a corner, then maybe run the rest of this. With the Fat Master blade, no, there's none of that. It's just put it in, you adjust the lever like to your exact specs, and this is what I love about the Fat Master. You don't have this option with detachables of a lever because it's a fixed length, and I love this thing. So in combination with the Ergo and the Fat Master, this is a deadly combination because I can fade with the guards, and then if need be, I'm gonna be honest, need be, I can pull out this if need be. But most of the time, especially if I'm cutting straight hair, I can use the Ergos all day. I don't need the Fat Master. But we're talking about like with black people, the guards, I'm gonna be honest, it's just in some scenarios, I still gotta whip out the Fat Master. So for that reason, again, like I said, if I had a top 3, if you were to press me, top 3, this will be in the top 3. So we would have the Andis Master with the Fat Master blade, the Absolute Hitta, and the Ergo in my top 3. Whew. You guys are gonna kill me for that one. You guys know me. If you guys have been following the channel for a while, you know me. And you're gonna be quite shocked by me even saying this. But yeah, this will be my top 3. But for the sake of this video, this is number 4 in my top 5 starting lineup. Now pulling up the rear at number 5, and this is just for nostalgic reasons and more for reasons that, for efficiency, my Andis Super ZR. Now, any detachable would suffice in this matter. You could use the Octane, or you could use the new ZR2, whatever. You could use the wall, was it Mentor, I think they have. It doesn't matter, just a detachable if you wanna go that route. But for me, I use the Super ZR because I have 2 of them. Obviously with this one, I have the 5.0 blade and it's zero gap. So I always tell you guys, don't bald out with trimmers. And I've been balding out with my silver FXs for quite a while. But I tell you guys, and honestly, these are really good to bald out with. And the trimmer blade actually stays pretty sharp, which I'm actually quite surprised by that. But I highly recommend you use your 5-0 blade to bald out with, because it's way more efficient and it's gonna mow through the hair like butter. Like, yeah, the Babyliss silver FXs can bald out. However, it does cause some problems on certain types of hair. There's no problems on any hair. So if you talk about just for the efficiency of trying to get through a haircut fast, and maybe you just want to have a good system that you use to efficiently get through a haircut, I highly recommend a detachable for that reason of balding out. Or let's say you want to remove some bulk. So let's say you want to do a longer hairstyle, and let's say you use the 3.5 or the 3 3/4 blade. Instead of you using guards, which sometimes don't get all of the hair and doesn't cut clean, you can use a detachable, and that's what this is for. And this is why this is top 5 in my starting lineup. This is number 5. So this is like my center. This is my like utility player. I can use this to do some quick jobs, remove some bulk, make me work very efficiently, and maybe put in some guidelines with blades, fade them out with guards, or maybe just knock down the bulk with blades and then fade with guards, or just bald out with this just for efficiency manners. So a detachable, I think, will always be in my top 5 starting lineup. So I don't think I could ever go without having a detachable blade in my top 5 starting lineup. This is why I gotta keep this one in here. But again, like I just told you in the last clipper, if you had to give me a top 3, this would not be in there. Also, this would not be in there. These two would get kicked out of the top 5 starting lineup. I would have to bench these. And it's just a calculated thing, because I realize I can get the job done with those other 3 tools, and I can get it done pretty well. Now, when you think about this stuff, you would think like, man, how are you gonna bald out? It's pretty easy. I can knock down the bulk with the lever closed. This is zero gap. This blade, if you see here, this blade is very close. This is close to like a 5-0 blade. And I can knock it down there, then come underneath that with the trimmer and work very efficiently. So there's always different ways around doing a certain fade or achieving a different look. As we all know, as barbers, we know this. We know that there's many different ways to fade, there's many different ways to attack a situation, and there are certain ways that you work that will make a job become more efficiently, and this helps your productivity. This in turn helps you make more money, and then of course, you know, better quality of life and things like this. So that's my top 5 starting lineup. Just let me know in the comments, how shocked are you at my top 5? Especially if you've watched this video that I've made over the past few years, or if you just watch my videos and know the type of clippers that I use. You guys know me. A lot of you guys call me the Andis fanboy. A lot of you guys think I'm sponsored by Andis, which I'm not. But how shocked are you to know that I'm on the Gamma train, and I'm quite impressed. So let me know in the comments below. Again, also let me know your top 5 starting lineup. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe on your way out. It's been your man, I Do It, signing out. I'll holla.